So laying onto your back, let's bring our feet as wide as our yoga mat, just so we can knock the knees together, letting the belly and the entire spine be heavy. And just feel free to close down the eyes, close down the mouth, and just tune into your breath. Feeling that gentle rise and fall of your belly, of your chest, maybe a heavy release in your shoulders and your neck, maybe even your jaw. Take 3 more breaths just to really breathe into you, breathe into your space, any intention that you're circling around today or this week. Just breathe into you. Take 1 more inhale. And then part the lips on your exhale, just let it go. Maybe start to roll out those wrists. You can keep that left knee bent if that feels better for your low back, or as you hug your right knee in, extend that left leg out into wind-freeing pose. So if you feel any pinch in the front of your hip, just kind of guide your knee out closer to your shoulder. Keep a nice flex in the left foot, the elbows in nice and close. Maybe place the very back of your head onto the mat, and then take 3 breaths, really squeeze your knee in on your inhale. And then really push your tailbone down into the mat on your exhale. Really squeezing the shoulder blades down the back. Take 2 more just like that. So inhale, squeeze your knee in. And as you exhale, just kind of connect your low back into the mat. Nice and slow, just kind of pulling on that leg ever so gently. And then just slowly release that leg all the way up to the sky. Rotate through the ankle. Maybe rotate through the hip a little bit, and then extend that right leg all the way down, flex your foot, and then begin to hug your left knee into your chest. So maybe just start to roll out that left ankle, placing the back of your head onto the mat, interlacing your fingers nice and close. Take 3 breaths, resisting your own pressure, getting nice and long in that right leg. Take 1 more breath to really feel your belly push against your thigh. Resist that as you squeeze your knee in. And then just slowly release through that left leg, wiggle that out. Any way that feels good. Then we're gonna come into a reverse tabletop. So bringing your arms out like goalposts, push the back of your hands into the mat, and then bring the knees up, trying to keep the knees over the hips, not getting the knees too close to the chest, but having a nice 90-degree bend. So flex the feet, do whatever feels best. Take an inhale at the center, and then as you exhale, come over to the right, but don't let your knees touch. Push into your elbows to inhale, lift your knees all the way back up, and then on your exhale, just guide them over to the left. Don't let them touch the ground. So just kind of move through this. Your exhale finds your deeper twist, and your inhale pulls your knees to the center. Should feel really, really good on the low back. Just extending those knees down to the side, however far down they want to go. Give yourself 2 more on each side. Really pushing into the elbows. Keeping a nice flex in those feet. And just kind of even yourself out, connecting your low back, feeling that elongation on the side body. Beautiful. And then just coming back to center, just kind of hug the knees into the chest, maybe rock side to side a couple more times. And then just start to roll your body, so try to move your body all the way up as you shift side to side so that you're at the top of your yoga mat, or just scoot your body up there. That's just kind of a fun way to get there. And then grabbing on underneath the hamstrings, just lift the hips up and then just try to tap your feet down. And then once they do, reach all the way back, roll into your spine, tap your feet down. And then just do this a couple times. See if you can find some hang time on the shoulders, pulling your chest forward. Good, last one. This one time, push into your feet, maybe lift up your hips. So doing it a couple times, trying to lift up through your hips. Maybe use your hands and roll all the way up to standing. Bending the knees, take a nice forward fold, just kind of wiggle side to side. Hope you had some fun with that. Bending through the knees, sweep the floor, reach all the way up to the sky. And then seal your hands at your heart. Settle into your Tadasana. So walk your feet about hip distance apart again. And then just walking your feet to the top of your mat if they're not there already. So grounding into your feet, having them about hip distance apart. Inhale the arms up, and then exhale, just sit into an Uttanasana. Take a big breath here. Actually, let's take 3 breaths here. So really lifting up through the toes, bending however high or low into your knees. Maybe just pulse for a moment. Beautiful. Take one more inhale. And on your exhale, bring your hands to the mat. Step your left foot back and then walk your right foot out so you're in your lizard lunge. Maybe place your palms down onto the mat. Inhale as you pull your chest forward. Bend your left knee and then step your left foot outside your left hand. Come into your squat and then just high five to the right, to the left. Stay low. Bring your palms down. Step your right foot back. Inhale, pull your chest forward. And then exhale, step forward back into that squat. Give a high five. Stay low into your palms and to your hips. And then step both feet back, drop onto the knees, take anywhere from 1 to 5 push-ups. And then moving through your vinyasa, send your hips back, drop your forearms, inhale, pull your chest through, maybe come up into the tops of the feet, and then exhale to downward facing dog. So we're just gonna warm up through the hips with that a couple times. So inhale to your tippy toes, and then hop about halfway to the middle of your mat. And then lengthen your spine. And then exhale, start to tiptoe your feet all the way to the top of the mat. Sweep the floor, reach all the way to the sky. On your exhale, sit down into a chair pose. Take 3 breaths. Good, last inhale, last exhale. Take a nice forward fold, bend the knees. Lengthen your spine and then plant your palms. This time step your right foot back. Stay onto your fingertips. Find your lizard lunge. So lift your hips and then lower them down. And then just do that a couple times on those fingertips. Feeling those 2 legs working together. The next time you lift your hips up, bend your right knee, step it forward, find your squat. Stay low, maybe high five to the right, to the left, and then forward fold. Lengthen your spine. Bend your knees, step your left foot back, stay up onto the fingertips, and then lift your hips, lower down. Lift your hips, lower down. So just coming into that modified pyramid just for a brief moment, waking up through the hamstrings. Take 1 more, and then bend that left knee, step it forward, high five to the right, to the left, forward fold, step both feet back. Maybe drop onto the knees, take anywhere from 1 to 5 push-ups. Moving through your optional vinyasa. Maybe on the knees, maybe on the forearms. Maybe move through your own upward facing dog. And then send the hips high to a downward facing dog. Take a big breath to reset. Maybe exhale out the mouth. And on your inhale, lift your heels. We're gonna hop to the middle of our mat again. All the way to the middle, good. And then lengthen your spine, lift your chest, and then walk your hands out. Start to tiptoe all the way forward. Bring your feet about hip distance apart, sweep the floor, reach to the sky, and then keep your arms there. Bend your knees, Uttanasana, 3 breaths, maybe sinking a little lower. Good, 1 more inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Lengthen your spine, and then step your left foot back. Stay up onto those fingertips, drop your hips, lift them up. Drop your hips. Lift them up, so really pushing into that front heel. Moving nice and slowly. Take this last one, and then once your hips are high, bend your left knee, step it forward. Take an active squat, high five to the left, to the right. Take a forward fold, lengthen your spine. Step your right foot back, stay onto your fingertips. Drop your hips down, inhale, lift up. And just kind of move through those pyramid drills. Hips stay really square, lots of awareness through that front heel. Good, this last one, bend your right knee, step it forward, find your squat. Maybe stay here or high five to the right and to the left. Forward fold, step both feet back. Take a push-up or 5. Moving through your vinyasa and then sending the hips high to a downward facing dog. Take a breath to reset. Good, and then drop the knees, open the knees, drop the toes together. Find a child's pose, maybe just Allow the hips to be a little bit more open than with your first stretch, with your first pose. Good, and then take one more big breath in. Reach your fingertips all the way away from you towards the top of your mat. And on your exhale, open your mouth, just let it go. Start to crawl those hands back, and we're gonna meet in a tabletop shape. So really grip into your fingertips, especially your thumb and your index finger. Take a big breath, and then with those toes tucked, on your exhale, just hover your knees and then floating them up into your bear pose. So keeping a soft bend in those elbows, really wrapping the triceps back. Hover the knees just a little bit lower for 5, for 4. Stay with your breath, squeeze your toes towards your palms, and on your exhale, send your hips high to a downward facing dog. Begin to walk your hands all the way to the top of the mat, bending your knees into a forward fold. As you inhale, lengthen your spine, flatten out your low back, and as you exhale, sweep the floor, grab that energy, salute the day, and bring your palms to your heart center. So setting your feet up about hip distance or maybe closer. On your inhale, reach the arms all the way to the sky, interlacing your fingers, or maybe just grabbing onto that left wrist. Inhale to get as long as you can through the spine. And then with that, just start to shift your ribs over to the right. So think about horizontal movement. Once you go as far as you can, begin to lift the ribs off of the left side of the body and arch over to the right, keeping the shoulders squared, zipping up the inner thighs. Imagine pushing the hips forward so that the shoulders can lean back. Stay where you are, keep squeezing and lifting through the side body for 5. Relaxing the head, relaxing the shoulders for 3, 2, and 1. Come all the way back up to standing. Open up your arms, but twist your body to the right. So reach your right arm all the way behind you, your left arm all the way forward. Imagine the right hip pulling forward, so hips are squared, but open up through that right shoulder. Stay here for 3. Really reach and twist. Good, and then bring your right hand to your hip, step your left foot back, find your lunge. Try to keep your twist over towards the right side. So you can stay here, especially if you've got a beautiful baby inside, and just enjoy this open twist. Or begin to reach that right arm back, begin to reach that left arm forward and really extend through the spine. Hold your lunge for 5. Really reach that left arm forward, lift up through that left heel, bend into your right knee. Good, and then stay low in your knee, but begin to reach that left arm all the way up to the sky. Maybe your right arm finds the outside of your left leg. Feel free to keep your knees hovering, or you can drop through that left knee. Stay here for 5, for 4. Relax your shoulders. Gently release your right hand, left hand finds the mat. Stay in your twisted lunge. Feel free to drop that back knee for 5. Stay with your breath for 4, for 3, 2. Bring your right hand down with so much control. Step your right foot out to the side of your mat, tap your toes, and then bring your foot back to a plank pose. Take a full push-up. Drop your knees, drop your forearms, pull your chest through an upward facing dog. You guessed it, downward facing dog. Take a breath. See what's happening on the right side of your body. And then just begin. We're gonna hop back to our bear pose. So inhale, lift your heels, bend your knees, and we're just gonna hop about a foot forward so that our knees can hover in our bear pose. Once you get there, we're gonna hold for 5. Relaxing the shoulders, opening up through the chest, squeezing into the fingertips. Good. And then slowly lift the hips. Bend the knees, tiptoe or hop to the top of your mat, forward fold. Lengthen your spine, lift your chest, exhale, melt, sweep the floor, reach all the way to the sky, and then seal your palms at your heart. As you inhale, reach your arms all the way up. We're gonna leave them here. We're gonna interlace our fingers, but point your index finger, or just grab onto that right wrist, zipping up the whole middle body. So lifting as long as you can, start to shift your ribs over to the left without bending or arching. So the hips go to the right, torso goes to the left,
Apologies if I just said that backwards. Take a big breath, reach as far as you can, and then begin to arch over, so opening up through the right side of the ribs, lifting those muscles all the way up and over, continuing to push those hips to the right because you are expanding so much through your thoracic. Stay here for 5. Try to connect your palms, squeeze your glutes together, push your hips forward, open your chest. Good. Inhale back to center. And then reach your right arm forward, your left arm back. Really connecting through the fingertips. Encourage that left hip to stay forward, but your left shoulder to reach back behind you, like you're trying to grab onto a swinging rope. Yeah, but your left hip, continue to push it forward for 3, for 2. Bringing your left hand to your hip, keep your right arm where it is, and then begin to step your right foot back into your twisted lunge. So staying here as long as you want, just enjoying the elongation, tucking your tailbone, maybe begin to reach that left arm all the way back behind you. Left knee is super solid, super bent. Stay here or begin to reach your torso forward. Reaching that right arm all the way forward. The left arm stays floating back. Stay here for 5, 4. Really push onto those back toes. Lift your chest. Pull that left hip back, square things off, and then slowly reach that right arm up. Maybe your left hand finds the back of your right leg. Feel free to float that right knee down to the floor. Tuck your tailbone. Feel your solid shape. Relax your shoulders. Good, and then reach that right arm all the way to the mat. Find your twisted lunge. And just stay here for 5. Push into your right palm. Open up through your heart space. And then bring that left hand down. With as much control, step your left foot about halfway out to the side. And then come into a full plank. Take a full push-up. Take anywhere from 1 to 5 push-ups. And then move through your gentle vinyasa however it feels best to you. We'll meet up in a downward facing dog. Begin to build onto our vinyasa. So take a big breath in your downward dog. Maybe exhale out the mouth. Find some energy and then inhale to your tippy toes. We're gonna hop back to bear. So bend your knees and then hop just maybe 1 foot out in front of you. Give me 3 breaths. Really squeezing your knees together, but don't let them move. Really ignite through your inner thigh and then stay here or feel free to drop the knees. Begin to shoulder tap to the right and to the left. So trying to keep the hips as stable as possible, really pushing into your toes for 3, for 2, and 1. Bend your knees, hopper step to the top of your mat, forward fold. As you inhale, lengthen your spine, really open up your chest. As you exhale, fold. We're gonna start to move a little faster. So inhale the arms up, keep them there, zip your legs together, take a big breath in, and then shift your ribs to the right, arch over, take 3 breaths to squeeze your space and activate from the very center of your body. Good. On your inhale, come back to center. On your exhale, just begin to open up to the right. And with your here for more of a challenge, go and lift up through that left leg, extend all the way up through your chest. Good, so feel control, start to shift your hips back, bending into your right knee, and then find your twisted lunge. Feel free to bring your right hand to your hip and stay here, or begin to reach that right arm all the way back, reaching your left arm forward. So imagine squeezing your thighs together. Imagine lifting through your chest. Your spine is so long. Take a big breath. And then gently reach that left arm all the way to the sky. Maybe grab onto the outside of that right leg. Open up through your chest. And on your exhale, bring your left hand down inside your right foot. Open up to your twist. Take a big breath here. As you exhale, maybe drop your left knee and come into a supported side plank, or step your right foot on top of your left leg. Take 3 breaths in your side plank, whatever that looks like to you. Really push into the base of the palm, opening up your shoulders, opening up your heart space. Bring that right hand down. Take anywhere from 1 to 5 push-ups on your toes or on your knees. Enjoying your vinyasa, maybe a gentle cobra, maybe your upward facing dog. Moving through your body, meeting in downward facing dog. Take a big breath and a big exhale. Lifting up through the heels. We're gonna bend the knees. We're gonna hop back to our bear pose. You guessed it. Stay nice and low. Stay here, or begin to tap your shoulders. Mildly moving those hips because your body's so controlled. Good. Stay here for 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and 1. Plant your palms, bend your knees, and then hop or step forward, lengthen your spine. As you exhale, fold. And as you inhale, reach and rise. Keep your hands there, zip your legs up. Take an inhale to lift. Shift your ribs over to the left, and then maybe arch over into your side bend. Take 3 breaths. Good. And on your inhale, come back to center. On your exhale, open up to the left. Find your twist. For more of a challenge, begin to lift up through that right leg, flexing through your right foot. Stay really long through the crown of your head. Take a big breath in, and then exhale, start to step your right foot back. Maybe bring your left hand to your hip. Maybe even reach your right arm all the way up. Or stay on your archer twist. Left arm reaches towards the back toes. Right arm reaches all the way forward. Even open up through your chest. Push into your back heel. And then reach your right hand down. Find your twist. Take a big breath here. Drop your back knee. Come into your supported side plank, or enjoy your full side plank. Stay really solid for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your left hand down on your toes or on your knees. Take anywhere from 1 to 5 push-ups, skip it, or add anything in. We'll meet in a downward facing dog. All right, so good. And from here, just give yourself 3 breaths in your downward dog, or feel free to look at your hands. Slowly drop your right forearm and your left forearm. So looking in between your palms, your elbows are just a little bit more narrow than your shoulder distance. So pushing down into your palms, or maybe interlacing your fingers, coming into a dolphin shape. So allow your head to totally relax, and then just begin to tiptoe your toes closer so that your shoulders begin to open and your shoulders begin to extend over the elbows, really pushing into the elbows to find more space in your upper and your mid back. Give yourself 5 deep breaths, bending the knees if that feels better on your spine. After your 5th breath, eventually find your child's pose, letting your head go, wiggling side to side. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders, begin to roll your body up. Maybe moving out through your neck, taking a few hamstring stretches. Tomorrow's mobility, so I'm so excited for that. Have a beautiful Sunday, and I will see you tomorrow.